Hello, everybody. So Crowdstrike just reported its Q2 FY24 earnings, and they're really good. They're excellent. Sales are up 37% year over year. And I just want to call your attention to the guidance that they had given for us about 3 quarters ago. They told us they were going to do a shy 2.95 to 3.01 billion in revenue. That's what they had told us. And of course, they've updated up this guidance after quarter. And back then I called them out for sandbagging, and they might still be sandbagging again, because now they are guiding for 3.03 to 3.04 billion in guidance. And I think they're going to update this again. So was their guidance in terms of revenue, was that guidance maybe $100 million too low? Well, that's very likely to me. They had no incentive to guide high in late 2022, and the odds are right now they still have no incentives to guide high. There's really no upside for these CEOs and these stocks that get sold off for whatever reason, really. I mean, this is a stock that's doing so well. It's a steady Eddie stock. I mean, I don't want to say you could sleep on it, but I could almost sleep on it. I feel every time I look at it, the growth is extremely steady. Because even if we assume a little sandbagging still today, and we say, okay, so for 2024, the full year, so we have two more quarters to go for the current fiscal year, and let's assume they do 3.05 billion, which is fair because they keep updating the guidance again and again. So this will likely get revised up. So we do a 3.05 billion in FY 2024. That's what we'll find out 2 quarters from now. Compared to last year, FY 2023 at 2.24 billion. What we get, dividing the 2 and minus 1, we get a 36.2% in year-over-year sales. Really in line with the current year-over-year growth of 37%. This is a steady Eddie business. Not declining, not accelerating, really steady, almost a little boring. So much that it's steady, but it's well anchored in the high 30% growth year over year for the foreseeable future. In fact, we have long-term guidance from the CEO, and when I calculate it out, I'm getting the high 30% for the foreseeable future. Now if you're into the granularity of the results, I typically recommend going on Twitter. Twitter will have the best granularity reported. This is Brad Freeman. Highly recommend this stuff. But you can see that based on his write-up, we have a quadruple beat and a triple raise. So again, markets should probably love it, but they probably will do whatever they want and trade this stock whatever they want. But let's not forget that over the long run, the stock market is a weighing machine and not a voting machine. And Crowdstrike is the security cloud. They are the leader in endpoint protection. What I jokingly called an antivirus, but they're a modern version of the antivirus that gets updated with the Crowdstrike network, such that whenever there is a breach in the network somewhere, Crowdstrike detects that breach, fixes that breach, and broadcasts the threat to the entire network, which creates a very interesting cybersecurity setup where I think it's a winner-take-most setup. Because if you're interested in cybersecurity software for your endpoint devices, you're going to want the one that has the most instances of threat, the most examples of threat, and that one is going to be Crowdstrike, because Crowdstrike has the biggest network, the largest network. And we can see the ARR, recurring revenue, right? So it's great because they don't have to fight for these sales every quarter. They're recurring at 2.93 billion. The growth is excellent. This is a company that's seeing customers use more and more of their modules, i.e. their products. People are expanding and buying more products. And again, this is a stock that should really begin to attract a lot of value investors. When you look at these operating margins and the cash flow margin, these are excellent. And this stock should slowly begin to attract a more widespread investor base that cares about cash flow and that cares about profit. Granted, I am a hyper-growth investor all the way, so I want to see that top-line growth. And, I'm not disappointed with Crowdstrike. I'm getting that steady top-line growth with Crowdstrike, and I think this is a great stock to own. Love this company. This company makes very little views on YouTube, so I'm not going to spend a long time talking about it. Just know that I've made another video that had a whopping 240 views, which I'm very thankful about and grateful for, where I used the CEO's guidance, previously guided. So 3 years ago, the CEO gave us guidance, 5 billion in ARR, annual recurring revenue, 5 billion in 2026. So in early 2026, that's what we should get. Right, so now that video was 5 months ago, so now that's 2.5 years from now, 2.5 short years from now, we should have a stock that has $5 billion in recurring sales. Now, don't forget this stock is currently trading at a price to sales of 14, and I'm going to do some very simple back of a napkin math, assuming we have depressed valuation right now, and that really those valuations are going to expand in the future, because right now, SaaS valuations, in my view, are still lower than what they should be. So let's assume that as the market rebounds, we'd still get that 14x sales. Then what would happen in 2.5 years? So in 2.5 years, we have 5 billion in ARR. Now, let's not forget this company has various fees as a little bit of a consulting business. So let's assume the 300 million in non-recurring revenue, 300 million in various fees that they charge. That would be 5.3 billion in sales in 2.5 years. Market cap in 2.5 years, then assuming the same price to sales ratio, would be 74.2 billion. And the current market cap is 34 billion. So even though the stock has still run quite a bit since I made that video 5 months ago, based on my easy back of a napkin math, there is still a 2x, a 2.18x left in this stock based on potential guidance. And the question is, come late 2025, early 2026, what will be the next growth rate, right? What will be the next guidance? Will it be 10 billion in ARR within the next 5 years or something like that? Well, I believe so. I like the safety of having a CEO that gives us long-term guidance for the business. This makes an investment much more safe, in my view. Very few stocks out there we have that long-term guidance. That's why whenever I have a CEO that has a fiduciary duty to tell the truth, whenever I have a CEO with a fiduciary duty telling me, hey, in 3 years, we're going to do 5 billion in ARR, it catches my attention. Just like when I hear Tesla telling me, Elon Musk says, okay, well, within 10 years, we're going to do 20 million vehicles. That catches my attention. Same for the Snowflake CEO and their 2029 target. Same for Palantir CEO and their 30% growth through 2030 target. When a CEO gives us long-term guidance, that stock just goes up in my ranking and gives me a lot of confidence that this is a business where they have visibility in the future and they can invest with the future. And I sleep well at night owning Crowdstrike. I'll listen to the conference call in about an hour just for fun, but I sleep well at night with this stock. This stock is best in class. It is the best in its category, right? It's not like SentinelOne, who seems to be having some troubles and trying to go up for sell right now. No, Crowdstrike is really the best in class in that space, in my view, and I'm very happy to own it and keep owning it for a foreseeable future. This was not investment advice. This is just entertainment. I appreciate you liking my videos and subscribing to the channel and following me on X. Thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.